can't just walk away from this.
What can we do? Get out the garden hose? Be real.
This is our fault. Did we not put the campfire out last night? We were so stoned.
Or someone else on the trail flicked a cigarette butt. There were a lot of people hiking yesterday.
Fine, go. I won't f you guys up.
Dennis, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Canadian. I'm from Toronto, Canada. My parents are Jamaican, so I kind of feel very connected to Ghana. I feel as if I'm back home in a sense. This is my first time ever coming to Africa, coming to Ghana. Actually was important for me coming here. I feel like this is the best place to stop off first before I actually visit the entire motherland. And a little bit about me, I'm an aspiring actor, producer, and director. And I've been doing that for over 10 years. To be honest, my story is very interesting. I used to do music when I was very young, but at the time my influence was not always the best. And I had a good friend of mine, I lost him through violence, and another friend, I lost him through suicide. And one day I was impressed to actually go to church and present a spoken word. And with that spoken word, I was introduced into what theater was. At the time, I thought theater was just literally a movie theater. I had no idea it was actually dramatic arts. I've learned and grew and cultivate my skills actually with a church community that kind of allowed me to understand my gifts more. And with that, I dived even deeper to who I am and what I want to represent and what I want to represent through my arts and through my works to the world.
So what inspires you?
Yeah, it comes from God, it comes from my people, it comes from constantly wanting to learn what the truth is. And you know, a lot of people have opinions, but the truth in terms of learning and diving deeper into stories, deeper into what we've experienced, you know, learning, listening to gurus or listening to my elders and letting them understand things that could help me get further ahead, you know. But my inspiration comes with that. Like I'm inspired by love, I'm inspired by life, and I'm inspired by peace and things that are uplifting. And I'm definitely inspired by my people.
Tell us a bit about your journey into acting, any movies you've been in so far, stage production, anything you have done so far in regards to your acting career.
Great. I have an extensive acting career. So I'm just going to touch from 2019 going forward. So 2019, at the top of the year, I was able to do a theater production in Geneva, Switzerland. And after 2019, I went and done another show in Washington, D.C. I came back to Atlanta. I did another show in Atlanta, which was a part of the Atlanta Black Theater Festival, where we had a run. So it was like a show where we had a week-long run. We also went to Spelman, which was great. I met with a lot of students there. I came back to Toronto and I also did another show in Jamaica. I did a show in Jamaica. It was not only called Amazing Grace, but it was a production to raise money for a theater company that was actually going to be destroyed. So we were able to raise money so that they could establish a theater company. It's called Trilogy, and for it to continue to go on. I'm pretty sure that we raised enough money for it to. So my first production that I got into was actually called Faith Heist. So Faith Heist was a movie that I was in that was produced through Hollywood. You can find it online. And I played a role where I was a gentleman in church.
See, that's the problem with you church women. You build this fairy tale in your mind and you hope for a happy ending. You know, I was getting free milk for so long, I realized I didn't have to invest in a cow. Are you lost your mind? I'm a minister. I need a virtuous African woman.
Now to 2021, I was able to produce my first student film with a couple of students that I worked with in Sheridan College back home in Toronto called Firestarters. So my first ever student film was called Firestarters, and now I'm going forward and I've been working and grinding with a lot of productions ever since. A lot of the things I've been doing with independent, the stuff I don't really want to mention because A lot of the theater I've done already is behind me, so now I'm moving forward to where I'm at. So that's why I use 2019, 2020 to 2021 to give you a gauge. But other than that, I've been training, working with youth. Have a program called Living Black Genius that I worked with Peace of Mind Arts with Natasha Addy Morris, which helped us to understand what Atlanta Black Theater Festival was and the National Black Theater Festival was. But so my journey was kind of like constantly growing and building and working with other individuals that are important to my community and also important to telling the story of why we should be using our arts to heal, using our art to establish who we are instead of allowing a mainstream media that doesn't really know us to show us in a better light.
You spoke about using your art to heal. What process does that entail?
So to be honest, that actually came about working with the Atlanta Black Theater Festival. In 2020, as we all know, COVID really hit the Eastern world really hard, where we couldn't leave. There was a lot of limitations. We had this new idea where we had to wear masks. But we didn't stop having the festival, which was right now we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. There's a reason why we're in Ghana. So in 2020, Tony Henson, which is my boss and the executive producer and director of the Atlanta Black Theater Festival, we were talking about an idea, a tagline, a slogan to kind of get the message out properly. As you know, 2020 came, and one thing that really shook the world in the media per se was what happened with George Floyd. And although we have all been so accustomed to seeing police brutality, disrespectful images, and representation of who we are online, like without any regards for life. So with theater, learning that art heals, even with my own self, I was able to, how can I say this? Not only help with the marketing and the strategic side, but I was able to submit a piece with the Atlanta Black Theater Festival, which is such a great platform to get your stories out, get your stories told, and get your story embraced with love and effectiveness. There's a whole bunch of prolific individuals that are producers, directors from all over America and now all over the world, which I was able to tap into. So I did a production that was self-written and produced with Tony Clark, Prince Osu, Cortland Holder. These are some of my friends from back home in Toronto. They've helped me in the writer room put a production called Black Minds Matter, the Jacob Lane story. This actually has a lot to do with my upbringing. There was a time when I lost a couple of my friends to violence, and I kind of felt responsible for their demise based off of knowing who killed them or knowing who harmed them, right? So at a time, since the community is small back home, that normally plagues us. So I put together a piece showing that a guy was wrestling with his mental, but wrestling with the guilt and shame that happens when we do harm each other and when we do kill each other. But with art and with theater and with performing, you are put in a place where you can get to put it out and you're able to let it out. It's a different form of therapy. So when you use your heart, you're able to actually heal. When you use your heart, you're able to kind of share.
Just give me about 10 minutes. I'll be in there in about 5 minutes.
I don't want to feel like I'm the only one. I want to open a door for all of us as a community to use theater and not let it be something where they dictate or something else dictates what you know you should be doing or what you should be saying. I want to continue to push integrity, push heart, push honesty, and you know, uplifting peace, love, and joy.
Do you have any intentions of working with Africa?
Coming here, I didn't realize how advanced and how intelligent and how driven Africa and Africans are. What happens is, you know, I kind of knew this, but I didn't know to this extent. So within my 10-year journey, I really want to be able to come here and work with individuals in Africa. Not necessarily just work with, but work for as well. I'm excited to network. I'm excited to grow and learn about other writers, other directors, work with other actors and actresses. Just learn the culture so that I can have more respect for it going forward, pushing it in terms of where I stand. But I still got so much to learn, so I don't want to overstep myself or set my boundaries. I'm just hoping that I can be in a position where, you know, not just to just do it just to say that I'm hungry, but do it in the sense of I need to learn and I need to kind of like unlearn what I've learned about Africa, unlearn what I've learned about movies and television, and relearn something on a different platform. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful that you guys are doing this, and I'm privileged enough to be a part of this.